I just received a question from a client. How do I deal with the fear of failure? If you're somebody who's afraid of failing, you're really stuck in this belief, oh my God, what if I fail? What if I invest all this time, energy, and money in this path and it doesn't work? Or what if I go into this relationship and I give everything up to be with this person and it fails? Or what if I try this new health coach to get my body in shape and my body stays the same? Fear of failure comes in so many different forms. Even with the perfect plan, which is what the ego wants, is to have a perfect plan. As a successful person living your life, if you have goals, obviously having a plan or strategy to get to that goal is essential. And that definitely relaxes the ego and relaxes all the crazy thinking. As you move towards that goal, however, those fearful voices are inevitably going to come in. There is a force in the universe that wants growth and expansion, and it's always aiming for evolution. And there's a force in the universe that's always trying to hold it back. And both are required for expansion. Actually, this force that tries to stop the expansion from happening, if used properly, can make this force that's always evolving and growing way stronger. However, if we are stuck in fearful thinking and we allow these thoughts to just consume us and we believe them and then we become identified with the fear and we stay here, it actually doesn't support growth and evolution. So this video is designed to help you use that fearful voice, the fear of failure, to succeed and thrive. Before we get into a process I want to share with you to help you release the fear of failure, I want to tell you what will never work. No matter how hard you try, thinking your way through fear will never soften the fear. It will only strengthen the fear. 99.9% of people are trying to fix a problem with the problem, trying to fix the fear with the fear, and it will never happen, ever. So the question is, how do we resolve or soften the fear or make peace with fear? Because getting rid of fear is not the solution. It's not even possible. It's one of our primary colors. It's one of our 4 primary emotions. It's with us to stay, like it or not, on the human journey, especially if you are a powerhouse creator going out of your comfort zone and evolving rapidly. Fear must become your friend. It is here to stay. So congratulations and welcome to the club. How do we actually deal with fear so it doesn't rule us and we actually can use it to grow? If thinking doesn't work, if overthinking doesn't work and trying to think our way through the fear doesn't work, then what does? And this is where it's essential to come into feeling, sensation, embodiment, presence. And I'm going to share with you a tool to use this anytime any kind of fear is coming up. So assuming that you have an action plan in place, I'm not going to address that at all as a typical coaching strategy. That definitely relaxes the mind. Let's say you're moving on that path of your plan and this fear of failure is coming up. What we're going to move through now are the 5 A's of the diamond self. The diamond self is the true self, the authentic self, who lives in the domain of the present moment, who is the truth of you, me, us, versus the ego mind or the fear-based mind, which is always thinking about the past and future rather than fully living now. The problem with that is that the ego is always pulling forward the limitations of the past and recreating that in the future. So in order to step off that wheel of suffering, we master the art of living in the present moment or being the diamond self. The 5 A's of the diamond self are: number 1, awareness. Right now, you are aware that your mind is trying to tell you fearful thoughts about the future and that you're not going to make it, you're going to fail. Awareness. Simply having the awareness alone that this is happening is giving you a bit of distance, which is what's required to stop the thinking's insanity and come into presence with what's here and now. You have an awareness that there's a fear-based thought. As soon as you have the awareness, guess what? Are you the fear-based thought, or are you the awareness that can see the fear-based thought? you already have the awareness that you're suffering through a fear-based thought, or you're stuck in a fear-based thought, congratulations. This is the majority of the battle. You are now creating some distance. There's the fear. I can breathe, which is the fastest way to embody the diamond self, and see it for what it is. There is a fear-based thought trying to keep me in the same exact reality I've always been in. Got it. So just being aware of it, not judging it, that would be the opposite of awareness. Not criticizing it, not trying to get rid of it, just seeing it. It's that simple. I'm having a fear-based thought right now. Fascinating. I'm stuck in insecure thinking right now. Fascinating. That's all that step 1 is, awareness. Step 2, authenticity. This is where you get to fess up and rise up. This is where you get to say, I am frickin' scared right now that everything I am doing is going to go nowhere. I'm gonna lose everything. I'm gonna end up homeless. I'm not gonna have anyone around. I'm gonna die alone. Let yourself voice what's really going on for you. You have the right to give a voice to the thing you're afraid of voicing. This is where we speak the unspeakable. Most of our suffering comes from trying to be spiritual and trying not to say the hard things. It's okay to feel the way you feel and to just let that out, whether it's in journaling or saying it out loud or talking to the trees or a trusted coach or ally, and let yourself express that without trying to run from it or fix it. Just see it. The third A of the diamond self is allowance. Allowance. Now you know that there's fear happening. The second thing, you know what the fear is saying. And the third thing I would ask myself is, are you willing to allow this fear to exist right now? Are you willing to allow it to exist? If your answer is no, you're right back. It's a trick of the mind. It's just sucking you right back into the fear. Nope, I can't. And you're resisting it, and that just makes the fear grow. When you find your way into, I can allow this to exist. It doesn't mean I have to like it, but I can at least allow it to exist. I don't have to hang out with it. I don't have to buy into it. It's there. I can allow it to exist. That's fine. The fourth step is acceptance. This is my favorite, and it's the most transformational. This is the alchemical process of how we use our fears, our challenges, our struggles to rise up and evolve and expand rapidly. Another word for acceptance is surrender. I like to use the word embrace, a radical embrace. This is where I ask myself, where do I feel the fear in my physical body? Where do you feel the fear of failure in your physical body? Locate it physically. Notice where it is. Wherever that is. Take a breath and be with it for a moment. Meditate on it. Notice if there's any resistance to it. Remember, you're allowing it to exist, and invite it in for tea. Oh my God, it's so cute. There's the cutest bird that just arrived. Invite it in for tea in the same way, actually, that I just received that bird landing on the branch. Imagine how fear and your relationship to fear would change if it was no longer an enemy, but an ally helping you to strengthen your wings. Imagine if you welcomed the fear that you feel in the physical body in the same level of surrender and acceptance that you let all the beauty, the bird, all the things that are so lovely in our lives to exist as well. This is alchemical in that when we drop the resistance and we embrace what is, we come into right relationship and integration. And we begin to relax out of the resistant thinking, the insecure thinking, the fear-based thinking, and we come into compassion. There is a real part of you right now that is afraid. Can that be okay? And can the fear be a loving messenger? There she is. Be a loving messenger that comes and goes. And really the invitation is to simply drop out of the thinking mind and come into your physical body. The more we do this again and again by breathing into the sensation in the body rather than thinking about the fear and what to do about it, The more we come into the physical body, the more we are strengthening our ability to be present in the midst of hard times. Your fear is not your enemy. Resisting it is the real limit. Embracing it is the liberation. Okay, resisting the fear is the limitation. Thinking about the fear is another word for resistance. Embracing the fear by simply feeling what you feel in the body and becoming curious about the sensation. Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it thick? Is it heavy? Is it like nervous, like electricity? What is the sensation? And just be with it, not analyze it, but just feel it and breathe into it as if you're allowing it to come and go, allowing it to move through. The fear is not meant to be locked in the body, and that's what overthinking does. It takes all of our feelings, the fear, any anger, any of the feelings that we don't want to feel, and when we overthink it, why am I feeling this way? What do I do about it? How do I get out of this? It just sucks it into the body, and we become like everybody else in the world, walking around like these stiff beings who are terrified of feeling. Feeling is your superpower. So that's the fourth step. We go deeper into this in the Diamond Process book. We go way deep into this. Self-forgiveness is a part of this step as well. But for now, that's enough. And the fifth A of the Diamond Self is appreciation. This is your superpower. If you can appreciate what you have in the midst of wanting more, of fearing that you'll never have enough or you'll never be enough, if you can train your mind into appreciation, you will see that if you are watching this video right now, you are one of the wealthiest people in the world. You have more than a vast majority of people in this world. If you have eaten today, and you have access to a safe place to sleep, you are extremely fortunate. If you can breathe into this, if you can be appreciative, even if you live on the street and have access to clean water, and you have a beautiful tree that you sleep underneath, or a park bench, or, I mean, there is always something to be grateful for. And the biggest trick of the mind is to keep us in a place of lack beliefs, lack thinking, fear-based thinking, to perpetuate the noise of the mind that keeps us in the ego's world, rather than waking up to the paradise that is always available when we are actually in the space of gratitude for what we already have. These are the 5 A's of the Diamond Self. You can use this for all types of feelings and different types of fear. And to complete here, I invite you, as I just shared with my client, what is your definition of success? What is your definition of failure? Make sure that you define those two things for yourself, because other people's definitions are likely coming from fear itself. Re-script your definition of success and your definition of failure from a place of abundance, of love, presence. And you will see that failure might not be what you think it is. Edison was asked, how in the world did you survive failing 10,000 times before you actually invented the light bulb? How did you go through those thousands of renditions and theories and attempts and all these ways of trying to create light? And he shot a smile to the person's way and he said, fail? I didn't fail. Those were 10,000 steps into creating the light bulb. Everything you're experiencing right now is a step on the path. I love what Tony Robbins says. Sometimes we overestimate what we can do in a year, but we underestimate what we can do in 10 or 20 years. Stay the course, be patient. Success and failure are both simply frames of mind. And if you can be grateful for what you have right now, while moving in the direction of what you dream of, you are the most fortunate person in the world, because nobody and no life circumstance can take from you the success of being grateful through the hardest of times. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend who might find this useful. And if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button, join this amazing soul family, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. The Diamonds Process Coach Training Program is coming up. Ready to master your life and transform the world? For more info and free training, go to diamondprocesscoach.com.